Hello, it's me, Clayton. I just finished watching the first episode of season 2 of Invincible. Now, after the first season of Invincible ended with one of the most brutal beatdowns from a father to a son that you'll see anywhere outside of Baki, this season basically picks up right where we left off, with Invincible trying to pick up the pieces of where his life goes from here, him worrying that he might become just as bad as his father Omni-Man, and with us being introduced to a new villain named Angstrom Levy, played by Sterling K. Brown. So the season definitely doesn't show us where Omni-Man is right now yet, outside of the opening scene, which is basically an alternate dimension where Mark Grayson and Nolan take over the entire world and even bring down a resistance that's led by the Guardians of the Globe and Adam Eve. Where Invincible even paralyzes Adam Eve, and I was thinking that opening scene had to either be a dream or an alternate dimension. Turns out it's kind of a mix of both. Because Angstrom Levy, the season's new antagonist, has basically figured out that Invincible could be a real threat in other dimensions. And while I initially groaned at the idea of a multiverse story, they actually go into an interesting direction with it. So I don't mind that it has an initially very cliched and very overused setup. Especially considering I know Angstrom Levy is a huge bad guy in the comics, and Sterling K. Brown does give a pretty good, solid performance. Especially when he has to work with Kevin Michael Richardson as the Mauler twins, and they're always fun. On top of that, the Guardians of the Globe are still trying their best to deal with villains all around the world, but they're also causing collateral damage by not defeating the villains quickly enough. So the Immortal gets to help out with as the new team leader, and we get introduced to Bulletproof, who I'm guessing is extremely durable given his name. Hopefully it's not just bullets he can deflect, though. On top of that, somehow, and I have no idea how, Mark is still the boyfriend of Amber. Now, anyone who's seen the first season knows how badly they screwed up a certain moment with Amber to the point where nobody in the show who watched the show wanted to see her again. So the fact that he's still her boyfriend, despite this being a month after the incident and being a month after one of the worst scenes in the first season, just boggles my mind. How are they still together at this point? Wouldn't they have broken up after something like that? Anyways, I'm sure it'll happen at some point, and hopefully this breakup can end on somewhat amicable terms. Especially considering that Adam Eve is trying to be as supportive as she can be as far as platonic friends go. Even one of Mark's former bullies decides to be less of a jerk and tries to sympathize with Mark the best he can. He does it in the wrong way, but, he's at least trying. And another interesting thing about this episode is the fact that they actually don't do the usual title card thing of whenever someone says Invincible's name, a title card shows up until the very end. Which not only makes the final scene a lot more impactful, but it also shows that the season's going to be even darker than the first, which is a good thing, considering the first season, while it started out with a pretty dark moment, and it mostly kept things pretty typical as far as superhero cartoons go, with a bit of an adult edge until the last few episodes. Here, the initial shock is worn off, but at the same time, we get new shocking moments with an improved animation style and with the same level of relatable writing that we expected from the first season. We just don't get 3 episodes at once this time. It's one at a time for the first 4 episodes, and then the last 4 episodes of the season will air next year. So yeah, I'm impressed so far, and I definitely want to see what's going to happen next. I just hope Amber breaks up with Mark or the other way around, because I still cannot believe they're boyfriend and girlfriend. See you next time.